This is at L6A, headquarters station of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, with the official broadcast for March 2015. Tonight, presidential comment, headquarters news, and on the international scene,
Thailand's new master frequency list takes 6 meters back from ham radio. That and more on tonight's NZART official broadcast. Good evening, everyone. Presenting the official broadcast, I'm Jim Meachen, ZL2BHF in Nelson. Leading tonight's broadcast, presidential comment. Here's our NZART President, Vaughan Henderson, ZL1VH. Vaughan.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everybody. I'm pleased to announce that Council has approved the appointment of Don McDonald, ZL3DMC, to fill the vacancy in the Midlands District. Don is a very active amateur, President and AREC Section Leader for Branch 68 North Canterbury, and a member of the ZL3X Quake Contesters. He has enjoyed a lifelong interest in electronics and obtained his amateur licence in 2008. As advised in Infoline and in January-February break-in, we still have a vacancy on Council and are looking for one person for the Southern District. Approaches have been made to a number of amateurs in Dunedin and further afield, but so far we don't have a volunteer. If you know of anyone who could be interested, please let me or Debby know at headquarters. AREC sections around the country were placed on alert on Sunday the 15th of March and asked to help reporting conditions as Tropical Cyclone Pam threatened the northern and eastern parts of New Zealand. As was done for Cyclone Lucy some 12 months previously, Daniel Ayres at A1DFA set up a website at pam.amateur.net.nz and with the help from a number of other AREC section members, collated all reports received via amateur radio, email and direct to the website. The reports were verified and made available to view online. At the time, we did not know if the cyclone would be a mild, moderate or severe event. Thankfully, damage from the cyclone was not widespread, with the Gisborne area bearing the brunt of the storm. Over 70 reports were logged on the website. Again, this was an excellent example of amateur radio helping the community, and I would like to pass on my thanks to all the AREC members involved, and in particular to Daniel, Z1DFA, who put in some long hours operating as net control, as well as verifying and logging the reports to the website. The long-running restructure of our Frequency Management and Technical Advisory Group, FIMTAG, is finally complete. The new Council Advisory Body will be known as the Engineering and Licensing Group, or ELG, and full details of the new structure are in the next issue of Break-In. We're very pleased to have Steve Fogarty, ZL2ASF, and Tony Brown, ZL2DB, join the new group, which will also include the current FIMTAG Secretary and Radio Engineer, Doug Ingham, ZL2TAR. Doug has been performing the engineering work on his own for well over 10 years, and the new ELG will lessen his workload and bring additional expertise to this important work on behalf of NZART. The new structure has two distinct functions: the Engineering and Licensing Group, which handles the frequency coordination and engineering of new applications for repeaters, beacons and fixed links, and a Band Planning Group, which will formulate and make recommendations to Council on new or amended amateur band plans for the amateur bands from 10 metres and upwards. Changes to HF band plans will be handled by a group set up specifically for the task. See the article in your next issue of Break-In for full details. The now familiar Form 10 will continue to be used, and a new email address, elg@nzart.org.nz, is now available for email communication with the ELG. Callbook last year came out as a printed mini callbook and appears to have been well received. I need to ask you all again, what would you like to see at the end of this year? A callbook on CD-ROM? A full-size callbook like the 2012 edition? Another mini callbook? Or no callbook at all? Please let me or one of your councillors know what you'd like to receive this year. Look for an announcement in the next headquarters info line on the activity planned to help celebrate the Anzac centenary. The final details of this activity were not quite in place in time for this broadcast, so if you want to participate, the information will be out in a few days' time. Finally, a reminder that our annual conference and AGM is being held in Hamilton, the heart of the Waikato, over Queen's Birthday weekend. That's May the 29th to the 31st. Just follow the links from the NZART website to access the online registration form. That's it from me this month, and thanks for listening.
Thank you, Vaughan, the President of NZART, Vaughan Henderson, ZL1VH. VHF Convention 2015 will be held next weekend, Saturday 4th April and Sunday 5th of April at the Waikanae Community Centre, hosted by the Wellington VHF Group and the Kapiti Amateur Radio Society. Themes for the weekend will include digital voice, digital image, digital DX, digital broadcasting, digital location services and KiwiSat. There will be an exciting array of speakers and demonstrations covering recent developments, future directions and new areas for experimentation. Progress at Colonial Knob, the new digital-only site, and future plans will also be outlined. The weekend will include a mobile rally and a VHF forum. Now this is Convention Light. No meals will be catered. They'll be taken at local venues on a pay-as-you-go basis to be coordinated during the day. Morning and afternoon teas will be provided by the host radio clubs. Registration for the convention will be just $20 to cover venue hire and other minor expenses. Full program and registration details are on the Wellington VHF Group website, and that's www.vhf.org.nz. www.vhf.org.nz. VHF Convention 2015, next Saturday, the 4th of April, and Sunday, the 5th of April, at the Waikanae Community Centre. Onwards to Upper Hutt now, and it's a very good evening to NZART Business Manager, Debby Morgan, ZL2DL.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. Conference is fast approaching. I dare say those of you wishing to discuss remits for the AGM at your branch will be wanting to see your NZART branch member statistics. These will be sent out early April. There are still payments for the 2015 subscriptions coming through. Therefore, in order for your branch to be fully represented of votes, it is important these members are included in the branch listing. One very important piece of information that will be included in the branch circular is a full checklist of requirements by examination supervisors to send me for allocations of call signs. Two things that continue to be missed. One is a passport-sized photo of the candidate. This does not mean a family photo. And two, if a candidate is born outside of New Zealand, then proof of residency must be given. Could all branch secretaries ensure this important information is passed on to the examiners in your branch? Processing applications for call signs will be delayed if this is not provided at the time of applying. Finally, I am somewhat dumbfounded. For a long time I was asked if NZART had any items of clothing available for purchase. We now have the dual-branded NZART Icon caps, and so far I've only sold 5. These can be purchased from me at $15 each, so send your order to HQ so you'll have them in time for conference. That's it from me, Jim. Back to you.
Thank you, Debbie. Debby Morgan, ZL2DL, our NZART Business Manager. NZART's AGM and conference this year is to be held in Hamilton, heart of the Waikato, on Queen's Birthday weekend. That's the 30th and 31st of May, at the Te Rapa Conference and Function Centre, Te Rapa Racecourse, Ken Brown Drive, Te Rapa in Hamilton. Now book early, book now, as accommodation is at a premium in Hamilton over Queen's Birthday weekend. NZART AGM and Conference, the 30th and 31st of May at the Turapa Conference and Function Centre. Now for a catch-up of international amateur radio news, we join the team at the Amateur Radio Newsline.
Ham radio access to 6 meters in Thailand has become a thorny issue, as we hear from Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF.
Thailand's National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission, or NBTC, is considering a new national frequency master plan, one with the twin objectives of strengthening national security while also planning new broadband telecommunications services for the future. Thailand's National Telecommunications Committee recently approved the plan and presented it to the NBTC, which has the responsibility for revising it every other year. The new master plan sees reallocation of 50 to 54 megahertz to the Army to enforce national security. But a conflict soon cropped up from a decision last year to allocate 50 to 54 megahertz to Thai amateur radio operators. The Army, which has been using the spectrum for emergencies, opposed the move. Because of this, the NBTC has yet to allow amateur radio operators the use of the 6-meter band, given the protest from the military. Now, if the National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission goes forward with the new master frequency plan as proposed, it would appear as if Thailand's Army will be getting its way and hams will not gain access to the 6-meter band. For the Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF in Los Angeles.
The new Thai master plan also proposes to reallocate 470 to 510 megahertz for both telecommunications and broadcasting services instead of only the former, as it is at this time. The entire story can be found on the web at tinyurl.com/Thailand-6-meters. The Bencher amateur radio product lines have been sold to Vibroplex, LLC of Knoxville, Tennessee. This includes the Bencher BY series of iambic paddles, the ST series of single-lever paddles, the Bencher Hex paddle, the N2DAN Mercury paddle, and the Bencher RJ series hand keys. Also included in the sale are the HKey 1 Universal Hookup Kit and the YA1 Low-Pass Filter. Vibroplex says that it will continue to offer the Bencher products through existing marketing channels. It has also agreed to honor the manufacturer's warranties of all covered products and to offer parts and support for those products as well. Vibroplex may be contacted at www.vibroplex.com. Passing a CW test is no longer required to get an amateur radio license, but there's still a mystique about Morse code, and many hams are interested in acquiring this skill and getting on the air. That being the case, Dan Romanchik, KB6NU, has announced the publication of his new book titled The CW Geek's Guide to Having Fun with Morse Code. KB6NU is the author of the No Nonsense License Study Guides and one of amateur radio's leading bloggers at kb6nu.com. His new CW Geek's Guide to Having Fun with Morse Code is all about helping hams learn Morse, assisting in finding a key that's right for them, and showing them how to get on the air. It also teaches hams how to use abbreviations, Q signals, and pro signs properly. The CW Geek's Guide to Having Fun with Morse Code is available in several different formats. These include a PDF, Nook, or Kindle ebook versions directly from kb6nu.com. The paperback copies can be purchased through amazon.com. The ebook versions cost $2.99, while the paperback is priced at $7.99. A book titled On Air, A History of BBC Transmission is now available for free download from the BBC Engineering website. On Air celebrates a lifetime of achievement in the world of broadcast transmission engineering and includes many anecdotes from the lives of people involved. The idea for On Air came about back in 1997 when BBC Transmission was privatized. Prior to that happening, BBC Transmission delivered programs to listeners and viewers for 75 years using a vast network of engineering systems. On Air, A History of BBC Transmission is both the human and technical story of how these shows reached the BBC audience. It was also the end of an era and a natural point for reflection on past achievements. As such, it resulted in a book of some 80,000 words, edited by Norman Shacklady and Martin Ellen, that is available in PDF format at tinyurl.com/the-bbc-book. For now, with producer Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF in Los Angeles, plus our news team worldwide, I'm Skeeter Nash, N5ASH in Topeka, saying 7-3, and as always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2015, all rights reserved.
And as always, we say thank you to Newsline for the use of their copyright material. Branch 48 NZART is pleased to announce their annual junk sale to be held on Saturday the 2nd of May. The auction starts at 10 a.m. at the Wanganui Intermediate School Hall in Dublin Street, Wanganui. That's the same venue as last year. Lots will be accepted from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. on Friday the 1st of May and from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. on the Saturday morning of the sale. The full sale conditions and contact information are detailed on page 44 of your copy of Jan-Feb Break-In and on the Wanganui Radio Society webpage at zl2ja.org.nz. Now, bids will be possible only by a registered bidder number. As a bidder, you must register with a $5 fee. This will also provide you with a sale catalogue. Time to clean out your shack and make way for more goodies. Come and enjoy the social side of this old-fashioned junk sale auction. That's the Branch 48 Wanganui Amateur Radio Junk Sale on Saturday, May the 2nd. Well, it's time for WARO News, and it's a very good evening to Rosemary, ZL1RO.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. WARO's Selma Super Memorial Contest on 80 metres is being held next month. The dates are Saturday the 11th and Sunday the 12th of April from 0800 Zulu to 1000 Zulu both evenings. It's only 2 hours on each night, and we hope that WAROs will keep these time slots free to come on the air, even for an hour, and help make the contest a success. This WARO-sponsored contest is open to all licensed amateur radio operators using voice and or CW modes and is held on 80 metres only. The contest rules and other details can be found in the WARO Awards section of the NZART website. That's www.nzart.org.nz, then on to WARO and the WARO Awards, and there you'll find all the information you need to take part in the contest. Log sheet and summary sheet templates are available for download, either as individual PDF files for printing or as a single .xls workbook file for completing by computer. This year there are changes to the rules of the contest and to the way contests are scored and are submitted to the contest manager. I recommend you visit the WARO Awards website and familiarise yourselves with the changes well before the contest takes place. A new edition of the WARO Bulletin will be emailed out very soon, and included with it will be a nomination form for positions on the WARO Executive Committee. We need some new members on this committee and hope that some of you will offer your services or allow your name to be put forward. That's all from WARO for this month, Jim. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Rosemary. Reporting for WARO, Rosemary Boshier, ZL1RO. Finally, in tonight's official broadcast lineup, it's Branch News. Here's Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG.
Thanks, Jim, and good evening, everyone. We start with Whangarei Branch 28 in NZART. Wednesday, April the 1st is the date for the next meeting at the club rooms starting from 7:30 p.m. And Dave, ZL1DMA, will talk after recently returning from travelling in Australia. From the 29er, newsletter of North Shore Branch 29 in NZART. The next meeting is on Monday, April the 13th, which will feature Gary Bold, ZL1AN, and the location, as usual, 400 East Coast Road in Sunnynook on the North Shore. To the Western Suburbs Radio Club, Branch 03 in NZART. Saturday, April the 18th is the club annual general meeting, starting from 10 a.m. at 3000 Great North Road in Newlyn. Hutt Valley Branch 18 has its next meeting on Monday, April the 13th, in the Philip Evans Reserve off Birch Street in Waterloo. A talk will be given by GNS Science on earthquakes. And lastly, to Nelson Branch 26, where the next meeting is on Wednesday, the 15th of April, starting 7:30 p.m. This will be a general meeting with guest speaker Phil Halliday, ZL3PA. Meetings are held as usual at the National Party Electorate Office meeting rooms on the corners of Waimea and Quarantine Roads. Well, that's all from me. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen McNeill, ZL4HG, reporting from Christchurch. The next issue of NZART Headquarters Info Line will be emailed on Friday, the 10th of April. Remember, you can subscribe for your copy of this Bulletin of News from NZART headquarters on the NZART webpage at www.nzart.org.nz. The next official broadcast of NZART will be made by ZL6A at 8 p.m. on Sunday, the 26th of April. This is ZL6A, headquarters station of the New Zealand Association of Radio Transmitters, concluding the NZART official broadcast for March 2015. Good night, everyone. Good night now.